Hello, everybody. My name is Enrique, and this is the Nobodies. Welcome to the podcast. Happy for y'all to be here today. I have three goddesses here with me. I'll let y'all introduce yourselves and get everything going, and I'm gonna just sit back and let it go. Dead. So, the camera, the battery went dead on dead. So, here today I have three goddesses here with me. At the end of the day. They gonna win.
So I guess we'll start with me first. Tiara Denise.
I'm Jaquana, aka Phoenix.
Oh, period. I'm Soraya. You know what I'm saying? You know, the realist, the truest, the OG.
Listen. So I got the podcast today. I saw these great women today, and I was like, let's try to get a podcast together. They all got some good inspirational information I said they could kind of give out today, and it's gonna be more of a just chill vibe flow. We just going with the motion. I made some tea, so we chilling and sipping. You know, this is the thumbnail. Really, they really, before I even started the show, they've been having some good conversations. We got an artist in here. She made some great music. So at the end of the podcast, I'll end up posting a song that she would like to share with you all, and then I'll post where you can find it and where would you like to listen to it. So other than that, I say we can just kind of get started and just kind of go with the flow and let it be.
All right.
We want to pop it off. We
was already
really don't.
So we might well just start what y'all talking about while I'm making the tea. Like what's
We
going
can
on?
go
trying to make the show
whole analogy of people trying to fit their foot into your path or swerving in your lane, and you use the example of Cinderella.
Yep.
Okay.
The sisters, and they was getting everybody in the town to try to put their foot up in that slip. It's like, if the shoe don't fit, it's not like, stop trying to put your big foot up in this shoe. Like, you can't walk a mile in someone else's shoes, and like, y'all don't even wear the same size, and you gotta like apply that to life in general.
That
is so true.
That's real. It kind of reminds me of when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I saw my mom have a really nice pair of shoes, I could put them on. You know what I'm saying? I could put them on. I could wear them outside. Now, I'm gonna be honest. They're a little too big. They're a little too big.
Yeah.
But I did learn how to build my style. You know what I'm saying? I did learn, what I like and what I didn't like. But I did evolve from that point of taking my mother's shoes to now going to the store for myself and buying my own shoes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then even the evolution of that, right? Because it's like, I saw my mama's style. I liked her style. I got the shoes that fit her style. But then I started venturing out and figuring out my own style. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just like the process of creation and evolution. You know what I'm saying?
They're just showing you how to be within yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna be cherished by your parents, and your parents can only get you so far. But this one, you have to branch out and kind of get into your own self-awareness, your own self-being. You can't be like everybody else. And that kind of goes into a whole nother thing of people being scared to be their true self due to like the world that we live in the environment that we're in. Like, some people have these amazing mindset, ideas, thought processes that they want to kind of do, things that they want to do, but then they look at people and see certain people, how they get talked down on certain things, or, oh, you can't do this, or what are you talking about? Like, why do we need these certain things? So I also feel like the environment and the world that we do live in today kind of contribute to the things in the way people are and how they kind of shelter themselves from being their true authentic self.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's hatred.
I definitely agree with that. And I think it comes from a childhood too. Like, when you're so restricted as a child, like, that's your most creative state. Like, when you're a child, like, your brain is just like, you're doing a lot, and then when somebody comes and says, no, you can't do this, it's like, why?
I can't lie.
That is true.
I'm thankful and grateful because how my mom raised me. My mom was a little crazy, y'all. Let's just put that out there. She's a little crazy, but I love her so much because it was a real thing. I was really outspoken when I was younger. I was very outgoing. And I used to always speak my mind. I would let people know what you're doing is not in the will of God. I really was that one, okay? And they used to always tell me I was annoying, to shut up, to not do everything. When my mama heard the word, Soraya, you're enough. Here she comes. Boo, boo, boo. Don't talk to my daughter like that. Da-da-da. She can speak up for herself. She can be who she is. Blah, blah, blah. Her doing that, it really taught me, like, now that I'm older, there is nothing that can make me feel like I can't be myself. I can walk around and I can see women, like, look at me with a stank face because I'm talking to everybody and I'm being nice to men the same way I'm being nice to women. I don't care if he's your man. Not that I'm disrespectful. I'm not disrespectful. I'm going to acknowledge you as a woman. I'm going to say, hi, nice to meet you. But I'm also going to acknowledge your man because isn't he a Monday too? Shouldn't I say hello to him too? I know what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Should I be afraid because you're intimidated by me being myself, or should I continue to do this so that you can see that you can do it too?
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you're just that mirror showing like you can be this too, but you have to find your own way. And when you was talking about how your mama stepped in, like I feel like that is a great influence in itself because most people don't get that from their parents. So then their voice is suppressed, their authenticity, get suppressed. But to have your mama, that's mother. That's mother. To back you up, that's big mother. To back you up like that, and that really propels you on your path so where you can thrive in your authenticity and then you have your voice. So I think like that's
amazing
to have a woman because most people don't have that experience. But and then bringing it back to the whole childhood thing, like when children are born, like I like to say they're at their purest form, their childlike essence. Like they so expansive, they so abundant, but then their environment, their parents, the people around them come and tell them, oh, you don't need to be doing this. They try to shape and hold them in the direction that they need to go. Conditioning. That's when that conditioning comes and robs them of that childlike essence. But then now in your adulthood, you're learning when you on your healing journey, you get back to that childlike essence. You're going to have to come back to that.
Bringing that conditioning out of your whole process.
That's the biggest
That's
thing.
the biggest, the conditioning, it kills me. That's why I said when it came to me, it's just like, they done fucked up.
But that
the conditioning, I can go on for that. Like, it's just so much that, and that ties into just how I was saying at the beginning about people not trying to be their authentic self due to conditioning.
Right.
Due to parents being the way that they are, and I always said like going to church. I never wanted to go to church when I was young. And I always ask my people like, did you want to go to church as a child? Like, did you want to go to church as a child?
I did. I'm a little different.
You did? You did want to go?
When I was 2, I'm not gonna lie, God smacked me in the face.
Okay.
Like literally, my family is. My mother was a pastor, my father was a pastor.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I grew up.
Okay.
And we had like a little basement. Now, I mean, it was decked out too. Like it was a real church. It was great. We were down there. My grandmother was doing intercessory prayer, and in the midst of her praying, it was just like honestly, something smacked me in the face. It was like God is real, and I had that understanding. Like it was like a knowing, like oh snap. You know what I'm saying? And so then I took church serious. That's the only thing that was different. It was like I was the one who, if the children didn't understand why they were in church, if they didn't understand what was going on, I was like, let's pray together so they could feel the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? So they could, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I think that's the only reason why we don't want to go to church is if you go there and they're just on some religious stuff, not really ushering the Spirit in, helping you understand how the Spirit can evolve you and change you, and also help you be connected to that abundance. As a child, you're already in your purest form, already abundant. You're like, bro, what do I need to do?
Yes, and that's how we learn. See, and I'm glad that I can handle that mindset so we can get a different understanding. Because now you were just like that, like I didn't even see it. Maybe that's why I didn't want to go to church. Because it's like you there, because we're so like in that spiritual connection of being. Yeah. We don't want to go to church and just sit there and hear somebody talking through a Bible all day. We want to actually have the engagement. You feel me? And that's why I do feel like when we did do stuff like Vacation Bible School and stuff, that kind of made it a little bit more better for us.
Yeah, the choir too.
The choir, and that's the one thing you go there for the music, and you go there for most of the music, the food.
Right.
But the main thing for church is their music.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was like, I didn't want to go to church. I felt like I was conditioned. And then what got me out of that kind of side of things was, and I had to have to talk to my grandma and granddaddy. My grandma, she kind of thought that I was into the whole satanic type of
That's what they always go.
But my granddaddy, he was a deacon. And you know my y'all know him. So he was a deacon. So, and it's crazy because I thought it would be hard for him to understand where I would come from than my grandma, but he understood easy. Like, we was in the car, we were just talking one day, and I was just telling her, like, Mama, she cried because she saw this stuff. And I was just like, I just look at it as we were always taught that, like, they didn't want us to read, they didn't want us to write back in the day when they tried to enslave us. So the first thing they gave us was a Bible and told us to go to their church and start worshiping the stuff that they believed in. Yeah. They came and killed all our ancestors, the stuff that we like believed in before they even came around here, to get us to get into something that they believed in. So when I think about it, it's not to a point where I'm trying to be of a satanic. It's just like I have to think I have to be real. Mm-hmm. I got to be real with myself, and I got to be real with the situation. If they didn't want us to read and write, and they give us something to tell us to read this, then they only want us to read what they want us to know, not something that we should already know. And that's why they came and killed all our ancestors, the people before us, and kept the kids and had raping the children so they can get into that wealth and that side of that lifestyle. So all of this, so them like conditioning started from the beginning.
It's always been programmed.
And this is why I always say, so I had to tell my grandmother, like, it's not the point where I don't believe in like spirit and like God and all this. I believe in all of it. It's just the point I believe in a different way, because I know we believed in it, but we didn't believe it in the way that the white man got us to believe in it. But even though they did get us into that, it was some good that came from it. Because it's always a way for us to commune.
See, I feel like that goes into the word. Like, even if you were to say universe, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, one word. It's like, I feel like, you know how there's duality and everything? You know what I'm saying? I feel like when they brought the religious aspect and they deleted the seers of our people and even the hearers of our people, it gave us a word without the eyes to see and the ears to hear. So since there's duality, we picked up what they wanted us to pick up. So the slavery, you know what I'm saying? The conditioning of being in a box and you're limited, you know what I'm saying? Even God not being loving or accepting of who people are, and God being a part of the evolution of your life. You know what I'm saying?
You speak for God.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Real, exactly. And so it's like they took that one word, you know what I'm saying, and made it their word and gave it to us and told us how to see, told us how to hear. And that's why they tried to delete our history, because they didn't want us to hear for ourselves. They didn't want us to see for ourselves. And so it's just like, it's at a point now where it's like, y'all, I understand that the words of truth that are out there, and I feel like there are so many words of truth that are out there, it's at a point now where people are ready to see. You know what I'm saying? But that also is a process, because for me, right, like, sometimes when I read the Bible, especially, let's say, like 3 years ago, you know what I'm saying? I would read the Bible and I would think about destruction a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with other people, like, you would read something about the wicked falling and you'd be like, yeah, that man who played me, he ain't gonna get nothing he wants. You know, and I feel like that's why it's such a dangerous space. It's because of the heart posture, you know what I'm saying, that you have. Maybe that's the conditioning. The conditioning was the heart posture of greed, the heart posture of survival mode. You know what I'm saying?
Because we had to get from, it's like, from how we were to be so loving and kind and not really be. Like, I know we still have people who did stuff like that, but to be in those space of where it was morally people of high vibration, just all good energy, just always, you know, being there for another person, and then coming in to bringing somebody who into your space and thinking that everything gonna be cool, and then they fuck your whole space up. Now you having to, and now we having to, like you say, everything coming in the spiral again, breaking out that conditioning, going through the whole thing with your parents and seeing the stuff they went through. Now you're trying to be like, okay, we've been through this. Let me see how I can get myself out of it. Let me even be aware, because our parents weren't even aware of the stuff. They just living. They just living.
It's the way we was raised. It's just like,
and it's crazy because we done went through all of it to come back to the beginning. And even though they tried to get all of this from us, to like steal us away from all this stuff that we know, it's crazy because you can never do that.
You can never.
No matter what, energy can never die.
Mm,
So all that, like, and you felt that? Like, it can never, that's all, it's gonna come back, and it just came back to us. And it's just like, it's gonna I just took out, I felt with my face. Y'all said, you feel it?
Put a pin in it real quick.
Hey, listen,
This is what I want a podcast. This is what I want a podcast to be about. This energy, this type of shit right here. Man.
I definitely
I'm like, oh, I ain't through yet. I'm not done, y'all. It has not sizzled all the way. It's still sizzling.
It was good.
Y'all is funny.
Man,
I know for me, I did not like going to church.
I didn't either. I didn't. Like I said, for the church, like for the music, the choir, like.
But just to go and sit there and then it needs to be so long, and I'm like, this is my Sunday.
I'm trying to good choir though.
I don't know if y'all ever got into the book of Adam and Eve, but I'm like such a book. Like,
don't even get me there. Because that Adam and Eve, I even don't even believe in like that. This is why the Adam and Eve. Because then it's just like, do you believe that Adam came before Eve?
Right. That's what
I think that they were one. Like truly, I truly believe that they were one. I truly do. Because even the existence of God, right? I don't believe that God is man. I don't believe that God is woman. I believe that God is literally both. It's the way that we can't even understand it. You're not going to be able to perceive your human mind.
It can only be experienced.
Exactly. And I feel like this.
And when you look around into the world, God is expressed in so many different
ways. Yes, we are all Source. Source broke himself into
a whole bunch of
Source said, I want to live a life. I want to do this certain thing.
Right.
So let me put myself, but let me not make it boring. Let me give myself
I want to
different
experience
consciousness.
my own abundance.
Yes.
That's literally what it was.
And I'm bringing different consciousnesses out from me. That's why energy cannot be created or destroyed. That's why it will always go back to Source. Because I am, then when I look at people, I'm like, you are me and I am you. You are like, we are the same thing, just looking through different lenses.
That's it.
And it's just like, look, every time I say that.
Separation. That separation thing is real.
Separation.
The separation is what gets us, and then like, because I don't even like to talk politics or nothing like that, but when you see things from a deeper lens, like I look at how like the election and stuff, it separates us every time this comes around each year. I'm like, oh man, the separation.
Like when someone's like, who you voted for?
Right. I'm like, why are we discussing this?
That's not
and it's like now we drawing a line and saying, oh, you gotta be over here, you gotta choose them. Like, but what the whole grand scheme of everything, you don't see the separation that is causing.
Exactly.
These things that are being placed upon us when it's like we still gonna be each other anyway.
So that's how I feel about white people. Not to tie it back in, but I do want to tie it back in because
I
really feel like whenever we separated, the people that went, back to the book of Adam and Eve. In the book of Adam and Eve, there was some part basically that said the serpent, which I don't think was actual snake. I think it was a spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like a spirit of delusion, or maybe even the spirit of duality that showed the other side of things that kind of ripped us from our abundance, or even blinded us from our abundance. You know what I'm saying? To make us seem like we needed something more to be abundant. That's, I think, what the serpent spirit gave to us.
That darker side of that shadow self of you.
So they said that serpent was sent to a further place. You know what I'm saying? Like east or something like that. Not Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like wherever we were, it wasn't there. They said it far away. Somebody went far away. And in my head, when they went far away, that's why they lost their melanin. And that's the reason why they started gaining all this information and this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Because it was true. It was the word, but it was the duality and the flipped version of it that was like darker and making you feel like you needed something outside of yourself to be abundant. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
and
that's trickster.
Even when you look at the history of Black people, right? Black people, when they saw white people come in the picture, were very confused. Like, why do you not have melanin? Like, and they saw them as a lower class because they lack melanin. To me personally, that was a lie that was sewn into their heads. You know what I'm saying? And it manifested.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They do.
Yeah,
it's
do.
just a lower sense of it. And I feel like that lower sense came because they thought they had to reach for something outside of themselves to have abundance. I think that's really where it came from. So then when they came to Black people, I felt like it was really a deflection. You know what I'm saying? They came back to Africa thinking, oh, we know something y'all don't. You know what I'm saying? We have information to help y'all gain consciousness and to help you rise and everything. Let me show y'all what y'all need to do. Y'all aren't the people. We need to get y'all right because y'all don't understand how to be connected to God. And they came and put that energy on us, ripped us, and basically were like, let me show y'all that y'all aren't abundant. You know what I'm saying? Now that overall has been the pattern of society.
Yep.
And so now in this time, in this space, it's a space for everyone to say, I am abundant. Yep. Anything that tries to be on the outside of me, that tries to say, you need me in order to be abundant, that's a lie. Get away from me. I don't want to deal with you no more. And that's just that. You know what I'm saying?
You're boxing yourself.
That's real.
You're really boxing yourself.
And that's the thing. That was the whole thing of trying to box you in. And then that gets into the whole aspect of, I always believe, because it's like, words always mean something, and the way that they made words with the name Caucasian, Caucasian just didn't come from nowhere, and then Asian did not come from nowhere, and then you think Caucasian, Cockies, Mountain, it's I think of it. So when you talk about they went away, maybe they did go and they went to the mountains, but I'm trying to figure out where did they get that knowledge? Where did they get that right? Where did they get this all of this stuff from that makes us feel like, dang, we don't know nothing about this because we were the most richest people before. So how do you get all this knowledge and technology? Well, I won't even say knowledge. It's more like, how do you get all this technology to do what you do? And we don't have, and we don't know about it.
And that's a trick.
And that's the thing. Because it's like, y'all, the technology that y'all so-called have that we don't know about, y'all, is so far beyond of what we even have right now.
We are the technology.
So, exactly. And then that get me to with the Moors and when the Nephilims and all of that, and then us having sex with them, and then because I've had visions. I still to this day remember the visions about with that lady when I was in that role and stuff, and man, and I didn't see that, and I think about it all the time, and I even think about how it's crazy because I've seen parts of that vision in real life. We were not just in Africa; we was in Georgia. We were and that's what a lot of people be and to a point now where they think, they're living. And it's just because I don't even believe that I was even African. I feel like I was a Native American. I feel like
this. Believe yourself. You seem
because I'm like, with all of this stuff. Yeah, it is.
Sure.
It just, we had so many different tribes. It was so many different tribes. And it's so crazy because we have tribes that the people who I've seen who have the Asian features. Yeah. And they are whole
Black person.
So it's just like, we can.
Yeah.
And the fact that we created and just to even kind of knock everything in the bud, I also just want people to know when they see this, it's not to keep us separated because with all of this that we just talked about, it's good to have this knowledge, but it's good to have it at a certain type of understanding to know, let me have this knowledge, but let me not use this knowledge to separate myself from those people.
That part.
Let me have this knowledge to know where I come from, but still I know that the people who are with me are no different. I can still coexist with them and work with them. You feel me? Don't be crazy.
I feel like we can also acknowledge that the lineage of white people are very powerful because they literally took over a kingdom, an empire.
Exactly. And you have to look at that and be
let's not
because they did that. They did do that. They did do that. Alright, so as you can see, the video cut off mid-vid. So the camera, the battery went dead on my ass. So I had to fuck around and recuperate and find another way to finish the video. I do have the rest of the video on the audio side. So if you want to check and finish the video, if the video was very good to you and you really liked it, go to the audio version. I should have the audio podcast down at the bottom so you can catch the audio. And from that, it was a great time. I really say it was a great time. I can say shit got real. Shit got real like mid end. Like after the podcast, like my cousin them, they stayed over. My friends stayed over. They kind of did a little more talking. Good information and stuff like that. But it was a time. It was a time. I can say that much. It was a time. The podcast, as you can see on the video, you will see a lot of the energy that we had, good vibes and stuff like that. I think I'm gonna do a thing with the tea that I made. I'm going to do like whenever somebody come on, I'm gonna make that certain type of tea just to kind of get people mellowed out, chill. I hate saying all the time, but oh well. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get that tea so people can come and like mellow out and everybody can kind of be open when they talk. So nobody don't be scared to talk, holding themselves back or anything from anything that they want to speak. And yeah, other than that, I really appreciate y'all coming and tuning in to the video, watching everything, seeing what I had going on. Really just listening in on us like babble and ramble about a good bit of topics. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to drop them down in the comments. Subscribe if you feel like it. I'm not a big person on forcing nobody to subscribe, but like if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. If you ain't, you ain't. It is what it is. I'm not pressed on it, but if you want to, hey, go ahead. It'll be appreciated. Other than that, yeah, I appreciate y'all watching the video. I think I said it about 3 fucking times, but I appreciate y'all watching the video. Stay tuned for the next video. And yeah, and thank you for coming to the Nobodies with everybody is somebody. And I'll catch you on the next video.